It's a brand new season, a brand new beginning, and a brand new era for F1 Total. There's been so much going on behind the scenes. We've got statistics, we've got highlights, we've got predictions, but more importantly, we've got more racing. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, for the first round of season 17, the first round of F1 25. We are here, back in Division 1. I am BS Gabriel, your usual commentator. And like I said, I think we can be very excited for a fresh start in pretty much everything. If you've been a member of the F1 Total server in the past few weeks, you might have noticed how many new things we have for this season. We've got statistics, highlights, so much going on in the extra side of the racing, but now we are focusing on the main show, the actual action that is going on track. And it all starts here in qualifying for round number 1 at Melbourne at Albert Park, a classic track, a classic season opener. We've got used so many times to see Australia as a season opener, both in real life Formula 1 and plenty of times here in F1 Total as well. And if you might have followed the last season, you'll know that our main two championship contenders, so the two that we've been used so often to see fighting on track for that title, are now back on a tie. They are both on 5 titles in their career. Felix winning his 5th title in an absolutely amazing fashion last season at the season finale in Monza, with an absolutely crazy final race of the season. Actually, some crazy 2 final races of last season that completely changed the situation and saw Kyle Tracer losing his championship lead on the last round to Felix. And now they are both on 5. But now it's a brand new game. Everything has drastically changed compared to F1 24. We've got new teams, new pairings, mostly the same drivers, but so much more new, unpredictable action is about to come, and everything is up to grabs for this title in season 17. Will it be a 6th title for one of our main 2 rivals, or will it be a new champion here in season 17? And it's obviously gonna be a much harder and longer challenge. We've got a calendar of 18 races. We've been so used to have a 12 races calendar from season 11 to season 16. It's always been 12 races, but now we're back on longer calendars. We are on 18 races per season now, so there is a lot more time for drivers to make up for their mistakes, if they make any, and all we know is that there are many more races to see how the action goes. You might have seen also some returning drivers here in the paddock. Marco Darko pairing up with one of his long-time friends, Pocho. They are both in the Alpine. Sadly, Pocho isn't racing today, but Marco Darko is surely making his comeback here in Australia for the season opener, and everything is just bound to be an exciting race. In the meanwhile, I've been informed that the weather is all dry, and it's not exactly common to have all dry weather here at Albert Park, but the drivers have been blessed, and it's gonna be one less problem for them. Now qualifying has already started since a few minutes, and drivers are already setting their first laps of this session. Currently it's Alex the G in the V-Carb on provisional pole position with a 1 minute and 15.544 on the timing table. Jeremy currently in P2, the only driver apart from Alex to be in the 15th on his banker lap. Felix on his banker, quite far actually from Alex, a 16.4, followed by another Aston Martin that's a 16.5, and a bigger gap comes from Allwise, a 17.3. Marco Darko currently the last of the running drivers on the timing table, 17.5, but we've got 2 drivers who are still pushing. Guga River actually has invalidated. We've got Sean, who is approaching turn 13 and 14. For this season, he's going to be driving the McLaren, and we'll see how far up the field he's going to bring that McLaren. It's going to be provisionally P4, less than a tenth behind our reigning champion VNT Felix One, who is driving once again in the Haas for this season, and his new teammate will be Dylan. Catracer, on the other hand, has chosen Sean as his teammate for McLaren, and he's currently in the pits. Edwin is in the vehicle, but he's pushing as well. He's at the DRS zone, just finishing sector 2. Oh, and the game is very loud. I definitely need to turn down the audio for that. Like, I can't even go on board because it's so loud. Should be better now. Yeah, I think that's definitely better. So there we go, the Lithuanian driver approaching turn 12. Usually a flat out corner in qualifying. Definitely not flat in the race. You have to really look after your tires and the dirty air and reduce grip and the fuel weight and dirty air. I'm gonna have to say that it's a defining factor absolutely in this race. Position on track has never mattered so much if we go outside of F1 25. Edwin now sets a 16.9 and it's a provisional P6. Now let me just fix a few things on the timing table. There we go. We got PC Willie driving for Mercedes this time around, and he's back into the pits. Yusuf, a recent driver, he actually made his debut last season, but he's still very much a newcomer into the league, and he's driving for Sauber this season. And right now he's setting his first lap of this session as he goes around the end of sector 2 with a 14.440. Would have been nice if it was 4 on the thousandths as well, but that's not the case. DRS open for the Sauber driver as he now approaches the braking zone for turn 11. And now we go into turn 12. Very fast right-hander. And we've got a retirement already. Tom has crashed at the exit of turn 4. Oh, look at that. His Red Bull completely in the way. Crashed into the wall on the left-hand side of turn 4. And that's qualifying already over for Tom in the Red Bull. Not even setting a lap. In this qualifying session, he's going to have to start the season opener at the back of the grid down in P16. Definitely not the start that some wanted to this new season in Division 1. So he's going to have to make up a lot of places and work his way up to the field, and it's going to be a very difficult challenge. Again, because of that dirty air, the further you are from the top spots, the harder it will be to try and make up positions, because being behind another car is so painfully slow, but not exactly slow, but so painfully understeery. You definitely feel the loss of downforce if you are behind another car. So that's definitely something the drivers say we need to watch out for, as well as tire wear. That's also a defining factor, because there are actually many tracks on this game where a two-stop strategy could actually be faster than the usual meta of a one-stop strategy that we've been used to see for so many games now. Tire wear has definitely increased quite a lot on this game, and two-stop strategies sometimes are actually the fastest way. For Australia, we've seen separate strategies, and in the Division 2 opener this week, it was Wednesday, just 3 days ago, which saw Sean Moll taking the top step. So we will see if he's going to be able to put up such a challenge in Division 1 as well. But in Division 2, the strategies were actually pretty split. We've seen some drivers with a one-stop strategy and some with two-stop strategies. Eventually, the one-stopper proved to be faster. Edwin was one of the drivers who attempted a two-stop, but was way too far from the top of the field to try and make up those places. So I think we're going to see a one-stop. And if you may have noticed, we changed the order for Division 2 and Division 1, because now, I mean, last season, it used to be that the Division 1 race at one particular track will be before Division 2, now it's the opposite. So as Division 2 drivers could watch the Division 1 race and be more prepared, but this time it's the opposite. Division 1 drivers will watch the Division 2 race to be more prepared and have more data available to them. So now they will know that the one-stop strategy will be actually faster, but I wouldn't completely count it out, because if anyone tries to have some crazy strategy, we will see what they can work with. And meanwhile, we are watching Jeremy as he goes around turn 11 and 12 in the Aston Martin, stays in 6th gear all the way through. Currently in P3, but can he make up more time as he goes around turn 14, the last corner of this track? Traction is absolutely important. DRS enabled and deploying overtake on the line, and for Jeremy, he stays in P3, improves by just 89 thousandths of a second, reduces his gap from Catres and Alex, but it's not enough to make up places. But what about Alex? Because he's now pushing his number 71 vehicle, going around turn 5 completely flat, stays in 6th gear, and he finishes sector 1 with a 28.3. Is actually down. Is he pushing at all? Oh, he's not. He's on non-ERS. Never mind. So we'll see who else is pushing. Guga River in the meanwhile with a very sneaky P4. Just very quietly showing up his pace at the top of the field. And that was the sabber of Yusuf just going sideways through that corner. He lets a Mercedes pass. That's PC Willie who's not pushing. Looks like there's a Ferrari in the gravel. That's still Guga River maybe trying to let other cars pass. And definitely cutting some grass here. He's just parking his Ferrari. What did he even try to do? Oh, he's just back into the pits. I think he's on low fuel. I think it is, yeah. But we are watching Catres now as qualifying is actually about to... I mean, we're getting close to the end of qualifying. 6 minutes left on the clock, just barely less than 6 minutes. But Catres, he's pushing to set a new fastest lap time, a 15.317, beats Alex's personal best by just more than 0.2 of a second. So the driver who just went P2 in last season championship now will look forward to reclaim itself. Now, is Edwin pushing, going around sector 2? I don't think he is, he's down by 1 second. Who else do we have? We have Bazooka Joe in the Williams for this season. Is he pushing? Let's see. Definitely not, down by 3 seconds. We got Yusuf, who has invalidated. We've got Sully, who is most definitely pushing, deploying the battery, coming out of turn 2, and DRS enabled for the Italian driver who goes to Aston Martin this season, and he is once again teammate with Jeremy, a solid pairing that we used to see for many seasons. Let's see how it pays off for season 17. Now Sully goes around the end of sector 1, improving by 71 thousandths of a second, and it looked like a very fast turn 6 and 7. Just absolutely sending his car on the apex, and now he's DRS enabled for the Italian driver as he goes to finish sector 2 with an improvement. Yes, improving by less, just 51 thousandths compared to the 71 from earlier, but now he exits the extremely fast chicane of turn 9 and 10, DRS enabled once again, and he now brakes and sends his car through turn 11. Now it is important to carry as much speed as possible through turn 12 and now 13. Just brake and let your car turn, and actually Sully goes back into the pits. He's not happy with his lap. Sean Moore, on the other hand, he's gonna try and improve that lap time, currently in P6, just behind Felix. Makes the car go around turn 4 and 5. And slightly brushing the wall on the exit there, and still improving by a little bit less than 0.2, and sets a relatively purple sector 1 I don't think that's been fixed. It still works like the other games. It's relative to the 4 drivers you see on your top left. Sean is improving even more by 0.3 of a second and sets a proper sector 2, while that will be still very, very far from pole position, but it still could be a good enough lap for P4 if he keeps gaining and gaining and improving. If he just finishes this lap, who proves to be extremely solid as of now. Let's see, it's a 1 minute 06, 07, 08, 09. Now we're up into the 10, and DRS enabled, deploying the battery on the finish line for Sean Moll. It's gonna be a 1:16.158, improves by 0.3, and like I said, it's a P4 for Sean. Definitely not enough for pole position, but still maintaining a very, very solid form, carrying on from Division 2, and we will definitely watch out for the Scottish driver in this round. We got 2 drivers who haven't set a lap yet. Those are Dylan and Kuku, but Dylan has invalidated. And we are gonna have to check if he goes back into the pits or if he's ready to push immediately for another lap, and I think that will be the case. So the 2 Haas drivers will both have a qualifying lap set, unless Dylan invalidates again or crashes or whatever, I don't know. But the DRS enabled for Dylan as he goes around turn 1 and 2. And is he even pushing? Because they look like a very slow line. Yeah, he's not deploying, so never mind. Double outlap maybe? I don't know, I guess we will see. But the last minutes, the last crucial minutes of qualifying are now here. Just 1.5 minutes left on the clock. And look at so much traffic going around sector 1. Car Tracer has a Williams just ahead of him, and there's also a Mercedes, a Haas. There's so many cars ahead. They are gonna have to truly manage traffic here, because if they end up doing a lap with dirty air and being slowed down in the corners, that will be the last thing they absolutely want in here. Granted, Australia is a fast track, there's not that many corners, but those corners you absolutely need to maximize. You absolutely need a solid car that is able to grip up on the asphalt, that is able to give you just enough downforce while being very fast on the straights. Alex has started another lap. Car Tracer is weaving, warming up his tires to make sure that he will be the one to start on pole position in here. And we are gonna go on board with the McLaren driver for his final run here in qualifying around Melbourne, deploying the battery, DRS enabled, and here we go. We start the lap and we go around turn 1, just braking just before the 50-meter board and using very much those curves both on the inside and the outside. The DRS enabled once again, and now braking for turn 3 just after the 100-meter board, extremely late on the brakes, and now make sure you can rotate your car very nicely into turn 4, flat out into 5, deploying some battery even more as we go to finish sector 1 with an improvement of 76 thousandths and absolutely sent his car millimetric precision to the track limits on the exit of turn 6. And now DRS is enabled once again, and he's using a lot of battery as he's gonna finish sector 2 now with a 43.068. That's a purple sector 2, improving by a 10.5. DRS enabled once again as now Car Tracer, he's gonna have to prepare himself for the braking zone of turn 11, and he takes it in 3rd gear, and ooh, that's a massive slide coming out of turn 11. That's qualifying over for Car Tracer. What looked to be an extremely solid lap for pole position goes around in shambles. Alex has finished his lap, but that's not enough for pole position. We've got Jeremy who has invalidated. We've got Felix. Is he even pushing? He's not. He's a non-ERS. The timer has reached 0, so Felix is even out of the chance to try and get pole position. We have Marco who is not pushing. We've got Edwin across the line. Sully, what can he do? Just a P6, and I think this might be the final qualifying results. Yes, Car Tracer, despite his mistake at turn 11, he still claims pole position for the first round of season 17 at Melbourne. It's a McLaren on top, followed by the vehicle of Alex, who looks to be on an extremely good run following his some disappointments from last season. He looks to be back on form, and it's an extremely solid P2 here in qualifying for Alex the G in the V Cup. Jeremy stays in P3 with Freaks in P4. It's a 4. From the past seasons, we've always been used to see a German top 3. Now it's a German top 4 even, but the reigning champion is in P4 and the runner-up champion is in P1. Then we've got Cartracer's teammate in P5, Sean Moore, with a 116.1, the first driver to go into the 116s, and Sully just 3/10 far from Sean Moore in P6. Guga River will occupy the 4th row with the Ferrari at 16.3, and Marco Darko on his comeback sets at 16.5. Good enough for P8. Edwin in P9 and Kuko will round off the top 10. And then we got in order Pisu Willie, Batuka Joe, Always, Yusuf, Dylan and Tom. That will start at the back in P16. That's the grid for the season opener here around Melbourne. And there we go. Everything is set. Again, the weather will be all dry. I'm expecting one-stop strategies given how the Division 2 race went, but I am absolutely open to surprises. It was a chaotic start in Division 2. There's been so many... Oh, now also that I remember, there's been some changes in the rules. We have the broadcast formation lap and red flags enabled. I was thinking about how we had quite some big crashes in Division 2 this week, and no red flag came out, even if it was quite a big pileup involving multiple cars. It was still only a virtual safety car, actually. So yeah, I wonder when we will see our first red flag. Like, it's absolutely the first time in the history of F1 Total we're enabling red flags, but not the first time we're enabling the broadcast formation lap, and here we go.
Formation lap gets underway, and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out.
And the grid is pretty balanced. It's a pretty even split between starting on the hards and starting on the mediums. The front row will start on the hards, so will Marco, Piss Willie, and the bottom 4, the rest is on the mediums.
The drivers will be hoping to get a strong start. They'll want to earn some valuable points from today's race, with final communications being done with their race engineers, ensuring their planned strategies are all in place.
There we go. We had a look at what tires everyone will use on their first stint. So Cartracer and Alex going for the long game to try and push in the later stint. Their rivals behind them, quite the opposite. They will push harder in the first stint and try and manage the last laps. And there we go. Everything is set. We are ready here to race at Albert Park. It's 5 lights and... it's lights out, and away we go for the season opener of season 17 in Division 1. Cartracer has a perfect start. Jeremy and Alex are immediately going side by side, and Jeremy immediately takes P2 coming out of turn 1. So Alex dropping a place immediately at the start, and there's already a 7/10 gap from the leader. Now Kuko, Stadi, Guga River, the midfield is moving up and down. There's so many positions being exchanged, and Kuko and Edwin going side by side. There's an Aston Martin that's Sully going slightly off track, and oh, there's Edwin into the wall. Edwin with quite some big damage, and we have a virtual safety car immediately. We have a virtual safety car. I believe that's from debris from Tom's car. Yes, massive front wing damage from Tom. He lost pretty much all of his flaps on the front wing. It's just a plain piece of carbon fiber on his front wing. But Edwin as well. Ooh, Edwin has even more damage. He just has no front wing at all. So debris on track has brought out the virtual safety car, and it's a horrible start for Edwin as he goes into the wall, going side by side with Kuko at turn 5. Luckily, that was not a DNF. It was a very high-speed crash, and he still in the race, not intact, but he's still in the race. But he's gonna have to immediately pit and change his front wing. And oh, is there some more contact? I don't know what I saw there. And just as the green flags are being waved, Edwin is into the pits and the race is back underway. So Kyle Tracer maintains the lead as Jeremy is trying to chase him on those faster medium tires. Alex stays in P3, Felix in P4. Let's look at the position changes. Who was the bigger loser? Who was the bigger winner? Obviously the biggest loser was Edwin actually. The biggest winner was Kuko from P10 to P6 after only a few corners, and he's now behind his main rival in Division 2. He was fighting for the win, Sean and Kuko, but it was Sean who eventually took P1. And those two are back close to each other to race once again. Felix is chasing Alex, and Alex looks like he's losing touch, but now Kuko and Sean exchange position, as so do Sully and Marco D'Arco as we go around turns 9 and 10. Alex on those hards, he's struggling to maintain, he's struggling to keep up with Jeremy. He might be dropping a second already, or will he? Because Car Chaser Jeremy actually is slowing down a little bit as we go around the final corner. And there we go, Alex is still in the DRS range. Kuko is not, so we have already divided the field. The top 4 will be on their own. Kuko will have to defend from the rest of the field behind. Sean chasing Kuko, Guga chasing Sean, Sully chasing Guga River, and Marco D'Arco not really chasing Sully because he's out of the DRS. But he can get back into it very soon. There's yellow flags being waved for something. Oh, there's some cones being brought out on the track. There's not damage, there's not debris, just someone going off at turn 4 apparently and bringing the cones on the track. That's interesting. Oh wait, there was Felix! There was Felix, I completely missed that. Felix dropping out to P10, that's why yellow flags were being waved. And there's even more yellow flags as with Tom going slowly after turn 1. I have no idea what happened to Felix. I might have to rewatch the stream. I can do it very quickly. Yellow flags are being waved at turn 3. It actually looks like Felix went deep at turn 3. That's I think what happened. And Tom is still, he's standing still. He's just not able to. Oh, does he have more damage? That's another wrecked wing for Tom. Ziran goes into the pits as well. Is that damage? Yes. There's so many wings being broken immediately on the first laps. And Tom just struggling to keep his car on track. But the race is still going, no virtual safety cars, no yellow flags at the moment, just a hungry Shamur who is trying to find a way past Kuko. McLaren versus Alpine. Sean goes a little bit wide, maybe suffering from that dirty air and going a little bit too much on the curb. Yusuf gets a 3-second time penalty, the first penalty of this race for track limits goes to Yusuf. We have a change for the lead between Jeremy and Car Tracer, and Alex has caught up to them as well, and Dian is crashed. And we have a virtual, no, it's actually a full safety car. We have a full core safety car. The game shows a virtual, but we can see the full core safety car coming out on track right now. Immediately on lap 4, Dylan crashing on the exit of turn 6 brings the safety car out on track. And we got some pit stops already. We got many drivers into the pits going for the hard compound. The drivers who were ahead couldn't make their pit stop, and they are very much screwed. The top 7 is very much screwed because they are already behind the safety car, and below the top 7 it's already a free pit stop for pretty much everyone. So some drivers are already getting their mandatory pit stop out of the way. Apart from Edwin, he went on 3 mediums. And everything is neutralized for now. It's gonna be Guga River, the car closest to the pack on these fresh tires. So everyone now is catching up. And where is Tom in all this? Oh, he's lapped. Tom is in between the pack being lapped. And that's pretty much his race over. So many things changed on this game, but unlapping yourself with a safety car, what is Tom doing? He just went into the back of Yusuf and Bazooka. What is Tom doing? What the heck is Tom doing? What? 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 He's gonna get disqualified. Or is he? He just got himself 20 seconds of penalties. Is he trying to forcefully unlap himself? Okay, maybe not. I don't think he's even taking this seriously at the moment. Oh, safety car in this lap? Are you serious? What? That's an extreme. That's gotta be like the latest safety car race that I've ever seen. Tom just driving on his own and just making a complete ass of the safety car, and the safety car goes into the pits extremely late, and everything is so glitched now. Guga River with a spin. Coming out of turn 2, that's gonna be the most chaotic safety car restart. Well, it's another full course. What? What is even going on here? Another full course safety car out on track. Okay, what? So Tom was just completely driving unseriously and just making a complete ass of the safety car. He crashed himself out. Safety car goes back into the pits like when the drivers are approaching the last corner. And Guga River with a spin coming out of turn 2, damaging his front wing. And the safety car is back out on track. But Tom is just completely ruined whatever he was trying to do. I have no idea how to react to that. Well, but this means that now the top runners have a chance to make their free pit stop, but they'll be in between the pack. Yeah, they've been just absolutely screwed by Whatever the heck was that. Everything has just been turned upside down, but not in the way I'd imagine. So everyone needs to catch back to the safety car now. And it's up 8. Wait a second, did Alex and Sean pit? They didn't. So the top 8, except for Alex and Sean, are the ones who used the first safety car for their free pit stop. All of the others, they used this safety car for their free pit stop. Alex and Sean are still the ones to have made no pit stops during these safety cars. So they are still P1 and P2 on track and still need to change their tires. And they're gonna have to do that under green flags. And they're gonna lose so much time. I mean, I get it that if they had pitted now, they would be pretty much where Jeremy, Kuko, Yusuf, the others are, like in the midfield or just at the bottom of the field. So maybe they don't want to give up track position, but they're just putting themselves in a very difficult situation. It's similar to what we had in Division 2 in season 15, where like the first half of the field was after the pit lane when a safety car came out. The second half of the field just went into the pit lane to change their tires, and the first half of the field, since it was so close to the pit lane when the safety car came out, they immediately reached the safety car, so everyone was already so close. So eventually, when the top of the field pitted under that same safety car, they just dropped completely at the back. So it was like an inverted situation. The bottom went at the top, and the top went at the bottom. It's kind of similar here, but it just unfolded very weirdly, if you ask me. But the safety car will be in this lap. It's gonna be Alex the G who leads this restart, and we can finally go back to actual racing on lap 9 out of 29. We will see what else can happen. Now whipping his tires, making sure those used hards are up to temperature, and it's going to be extremely... Oh, Kuko gets a 10-second penalty, a severe collision with Jeremy. So some contact under the safety car gives Kuko a 10-second penalty, and that completely ruins his chance of a good race from now on. But the race has restarted, and Alex is still in the lead with a decent restart compared to Sean. Sully is all over the back of Sean. He's on those faster tires. He's on the hards, but those hards are less worn, so they should be faster than those 9 laps old mediums. And let's see if he can find a way around Sean as we go around turn 4 and 5, finishing off sector 1. Alex is doing his best to try and create a gap to escape from the cars behind him, and in the middle the safety car banner is still showing, but we're very obviously racing. There's green flags, or like there's no flags at all because we're racing. Well, actually, I think I read in the patch notes that this should be fixed. But Felix and Marco going side by side, and Marco gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits, and Kuko as well. And now we got 3 drivers with warnings for track limits, and now Sean and Sully going side by side through turn 11. Sully has the inside line, and that's a pass. Very nice done from Sully to go up into P2, but he has lost so much time compared to Alex. Marco is trying to find a way around Sean after he just overtook Felix, and Alex looks to be safe in P1 with a gap of 1.6 seconds from Sully just behind him, who just overtook Sean. But Sully will have an indefinite amount of advantage on those tires. Bazooka is now chasing Jeremy, but he stays in behind Jeremy with quite some lockups. Ooh, oh, Bazooka was very close into the wall, and a mistake puts him down in P11 as Kuko tries to find a way around the guy. And there we go, that is Kuko up into P10 with an extremely high speed overtake as he needed to get around Bazooka, who just went slow after that mistake. And now Marco, Sean and Felix are exchanging position. Marco is up into the podium places, and Jeremy and Always are also exchanging positions. Jeremy is up into P7 and Always down in P8 he goes. Cartracer in P9 and Kuko doesn't have DRS. Now it's P-Sweet and Sean fighting for positions. Sean is absolutely dropping like a stone on those all mediums. Alex is doing a much better job. Both Sean and Alex haven't made the pit stops, but Sean, oh look at that, Sean and Jeremy making contact as Jeremy tried to overtake, and Sean with an horrendous start is now down in P7, and I think it's not gonna be a matter of if, it's gonna be a matter of when. When does Cartracer, Always, maybe even Kuko overtakes him? Now Always has a 3-second time penalty for track limits as well. So many drivers are stacking up penalties. Now the two McLaren teammates exchange position. Cartracer goes deep. Sean tries to find a switchback, but there's absolutely no way on those all mediums. He's just gonna have to defend from Always and Kuko, and Kuko is getting so much time on Always all of a sudden, and everyone has DRS. Does Cartracer have DRS on Jeremy? He does not. Felix reclaiming P3 from Marco Darko. 1.4 seconds from Felix and Sully. Goga River and Edwin fighting for places here. And Edwin drops down to last. Does he have damage? I think he's missing the right end plate. He is. That's even more damage for Edwin. And the safety car banner is still out. I've read some patch notes that they're gonna patch this on Monday. The safety car banner showing up in spectator mode. But it just gets frustrating seeing here. And Sean is absolutely going so slowly on the track. There is nothing he can do on those old mediums, and maybe there's nothing Alex can do even on those old hards against Sully, because look at that, he's just completely on his tail, and he's gonna overtake him very soon, I reckon. Guga and Bazooka fighting for places as now Guga River goes up into P12 and is not gonna be late until he overtakes Yusuf. Felix is back in DRS from Sully. Sully, I think he will finally make a move on Alex as he goes around the outside. And he's ahead. Now Sully takes the lead of the race, going around the chicanes of turn 9 and 10. Felix, I think he's gonna have to overtake Alex as soon as possible as well, because he also has an advantage on those fresher hards. Edwin gets a 3-second time penalty. Track limits for the Lithuanian V-Cup driver as well. There's already so much damage and so many track limits penalties in this first half of the race. Marco is trying to fend off Jeremy just behind. He's hoping that the dirty air is gonna slow him down just enough. I don't know if Marco has DRS. He does not. So he's under threat by Jeremy. We go around turn 1 and 2, and Guga River is still making places at the bottom of the field. He's still overtaking everyone ahead of him. He's gonna overtake Sean very soon now. And Felix as well, chasing Alex. He's gonna overtake him soon, that's for sure, but he's slightly getting slowed down by the dirty air. So the overtake will be slightly delayed. Kuko with another track limits penalty. Now we go up to 16 seconds, because he has those 10 seconds from the contact as well under safety car. But for track limits, it's 6 seconds. Coco and Always still fighting, even with those penalties. And oh, there's a massive crash! There's an Alpine going into the wall. There's Marco Darko. Marco Darko was fighting for a position. I guess he made contact with PC Willie, I believe. No, it was Kart Racer. Marco Darko and Kart Racer made contact on the straight just before turn 11. Marco goes absolutely high speed into the wall, but only damages his wing and is still in the race. But that looked like a very, very scary crash indeed. But all of a sudden now Felix is up there in P2 chasing Sully. And Alex, he's very much under threat. He still needs to make a pit stop. But he's being gapped by Felix ahead of him. He's being reached by Jeremy behind him. And Jeremy has an even bigger advantage. 7 laps against 14 laps sold hard. Alex will have DRS, but in the corners there is nothing he can do. And Jeremy is doing everything he can. He's deploying the battery using DRS. He chooses the inside line and he goes in P3 very easily. He's now trying to chase Felix to improve his place even more. Could it be an Aston Martin 1-2 in the season opener? That's too early to judge because there are still 15 laps, well 14 laps and a half left in this Australian Grand Prix. But we will see how everything unfolds. Ooh, and Always with a massive send on Kuko. Kuko gets pushed off into the gravel trap, and I think he's not gonna be happy about that. The stewards might have to look at this incident with a very aggressive time bomb from Always, and Kuko losing out massively. He still has DRS, and he's still directly behind Always. But that was a very aggressive overtake, I have to say. The top 6 is pretty much on their own. Kart Racer, I think, well, he dropped out of the DRS now, but I think he will be back in very soon. Oh, Willie, 1.1. He's still out of DRS. Kart Racer is on significantly faster tires than Alex, but he's out of DRS, and he's under threat by PC Willie, who's taking all of the slipstream available. And Sully still maintains the lead. Oh, and PC Willie gets a penalty. We have another driver falling victim of those infamous track limits. That is PC Willie running in P6, chasing Kart Racer, who goes off and Bato gets crushed out of turn 10. We have another full course safety car, and so many actually so many safety cars have been deployed in this Grand Prix, and Sully, Felix, Jeremy, Alex with absolutely perfect timing. He gets his first pit stop of the race under safety car, and he's in net P4, and now everyone will go onto the medium tires. Alex taking that gamble, and that has paid off perfectly. It looked impossible, but look at where he is now. He actually jumped Jeremy in the pits, I think. Was he in P4? Actually, I don't remember, but everyone going into the pits for another pit stop. Yet another safety car has been brought out on track. I don't think we had a virtual. It was just full safety cars from the beginning to the end. Even on lap 17, Bergman Lander, he's gonna have to work extra shifts in his Australian Grand Prix to try and maintain everything safe around the walls of Albert Park. And everyone is in mostly for fresh mediums. And everything is so different compared to the qualifying positions we saw earlier. Didn't see what happened, but I assume Bazooka crashed on his own, exiting turn 10. Took the wall on the right hand side. Safety car is out on track once again. So we got only the two Alpines who still need to very much catch up to the grid. Everyone else is just behind the safety car, and they're gonna have to work extremely hard to warm up their tires. It's gonna be crucial. If we resume on 18, it's gonna be 11 laps of racing. And Sean is in the pits for a second time. What? A double pit stop for Sean under the safety car. Going for the mediums. Did he mistakenly chose the hards? I have no idea. No idea what happened there, but Sean is now in dead last in P13. So I assume the safety car will be in this lap. And it will be indeed. But now it's gonna be Sully who leads this safety car race. There is a Sauber going on the grass for a short time there. It's gonna be the Italian in the Aston Martin leading this race. And now he goes around turn 13, warming up his tires. There's gonna be a late restart, but just as he goes past the apex, Sully has restarted the race, and Felix has reacted beautifully. He's all over the back of him, but even better, Alex has an even better run on... Well, actually, Jeremy has a run on Alex, but Alex stays ahead in P3. Yusuf gets track limits penalties. 3 seconds will be added to this time. Catches goes past Guga River, so now he's up into P6, and he only has a 2-lap disadvantage on those mediums. Yusuf going completely off the track as he tries to battle always, but everything else seems to be calm. The two Alpines are very close together. And look at that, Coco and Marco Darko both overtaking Edwin on the straight. No DRS yet, but they are still using all of their battery to try and get past. And Edwin drops down to P12, and that's a pass by both Alpines on the wake-up driver. But actually Edwin fights back with Marco. Edwin has the inside line and sends it on the brakes. Going on the inside of turn 11. And he gets past, back in P11, now he can chase after Kuko. So many drivers with track limits penalties right now. Sully, Felix, Alex, Jeremy, Kart and Sean, only 6 drivers with no track limits penalties. 5 of them are in the top 6, the other one is in last. Well, but he won't be in last because he's gonna gain so many places. He's suffering from the debt, yeah, that's for sure, but if he stays out to the white lines, it can pay off for him. So at the moment, Sully looks like he's gonna be the one winning this race, but there are still 9 laps left to go. 9.5. Sean got past Edwin in the meanwhile, but actually battling Marco Darko now goes into this fight. Marco on the inside of Sean. They make contact, but now they go 3 wider into turn 12, and Sean stays ahead of both of them. Now it's Edwin and Marco fighting once again. Marco sends it on the inside, they still make contact, and they go wheel to wheel on the last corner, and Edwin stays ahead. Sully sets the fastest lap as he's trying to escape from Felix just behind. Piswili gets another penalty for track limits, and he's been overtaken by Kyle Tracer, so now he's down in P6. Sean now chasing after Yusuf. Ooh, with a massive slide coming out of turn 3, but luckily he keeps it on track and out of the wall. The McLaren driver is still in the race. He can still execute a very good comeback in here if he keeps being consistent like this. If he stays approachable, he makes no mistake. But we have a change for the lead for Felix as he now claims the lead of the race with the DRS just before turn 9. Now it's the reigning champion back into the lead, and Sully will do everything in his power to stay close to him. Edwin gets yet another penalty as he keeps fighting with Marco. These two are absolutely having an amazing fight for no points, but oh, Edwin goes deep and into the wall and he crashes out. Edwin is out of the race. Is it gonna be another safety car? It is not. Not even a VSC actually, but Edwin completely straight lines the wall, going deep at turn 11, and no virtual or full course safety car has been brought out, so we are still racing. Sean now overtakes Yusuf, he's now into the points, but let's look at the penalties ahead, because he will actually jump everyone. Sean is in effective P6 right now. Now it's gonna be Felix under threat by Sully with the DRS. Look at that overspeed. Guga River and Piswili are fighting as well. Guga River claims P6 out of Piswili's hands, and Guga River, who is the only driver on the hards, has dropped down massively to the cars ahead. Oh, there's a spin by Piswili! Piswili loses the car mid-corner and he goes off into the gravel, and that's an absolutely terrible mistake from Piswili as he drops down to P12 in last. A costly mistake. His car going sideways through the chicane. And that's an absolute heartbreak for Piswili. He also made a costly mistake in Division 2. He actually DNF'd on his own. I think he had a spin out of the last corner in the first laps. He then DNF'd. I don't remember how he DNF'd, but it was still a very bad race from Piswili in Division 2. And his curse in Australia continues even more. Lap 23 out of 29, Felix maintains the lead, but Sully is doing everything he can to chase him. And it's such a tight battle between 5 drivers. And there is a move going on at the back at Jeremy and Alex. Jeremy goes past Alex, so now it's an Aston Martin 2-3. They still have everything in their hands to try and make it a 1-2, but at the moment they're gonna have to overtake Felix, both of them, who is doing a very good job maintaining this lead, but we still need to see how this situation evolves. Lap 23 out of 29, soon to be 24. Marco and Yusuf fighting. Marco has the inside line for turn 12, but Yusuf stays ahead. He carries more speed. He has more momentum. Marco still tries to find a gap. Now Catres and Alex fighting. Oh, Catres goes slightly off track, fighting with Alex, and they might drop out of DRS. Catres is 1.2 seconds behind Jeremy. This might be a crucial move by Alex, costing both of them DRS to the leaders and having less of a chance to try and chase that race win. Now the top 3 has a gap of less than 3 tenths between every single driver. Does Catres have DRS? I think it doesn't. He does not. Alex can gain on him, but Catres cannot. Sully has a DRS, he's all over the back of Felix, but he backs out just before the corner. And this battle is gonna go on up until the last lap. And to a certain extent, it's an all-German top 5. Sully is Italian, but he pretty much lives in Germany, speaks German. I mean, he's always been considered like inside the German group, if that makes sense. So to some extent, it's a German top 5. It's crazy how you see Italy dominating Div 2 and Germany dominating Div 1. Just such a distinct characteristic every race. Just a fun fact. But in the meanwhile, Kartracer has recovered up into DRS zone. He's now back into it. He's back into the rhythm, back into the groove, back into the pace and that momentum to try and chase this race win once again. It's been an absolutely amazing race by all of these 5 drivers, but they still need to finalize everything they have. Up until the last lap, Kartracer goes around the outside of Jeremy. Do they still go wheel to wheel through turn 9? They do, and Kartracer goes deep, and Jeremy will half a spin, and Kartracer goes back past him again. Now Alex goes up into P3, actually he overtakes Kartracer. They were going wheel to wheel through turn 9. Kartracer went deep and almost into the grass. Jeremy with half a spin, losing a lot of momentum, and somehow Alex going past both of them. He's almost inside the DRS range. He will not have DRS for this main straight, but he can still gain to try and get back into it. But Kartracer will absolutely take all the slipstream he can to try and get back into it. And it looks like Alex is back in it. He still doesn't have DRS now because it's only one detection point, but he is inside that gap. He can still make it. 26 out of 29. 3 laps and a half left into this Australian Grand Prix, and Felix is still maintaining the lead. If this was F1 24, they would have exchanged positions left, right, front and center, and pretty much every corner of the track, every single DRS straight, they would have exchanged the position. That's not the case anymore on F1 25. Their theory is playing such a crucial role in this battle because not everyone can gain on the drivers ahead. But now Alex gets overtaken by Kartracer, and he actually gets slowed down. Kartracer now still has DRS, so now he can still chase after Sully. But that costly mistake by Jeremy, battling with Kartracer going too deep into the chicane, has cost him the potential to make it at Aston Martin 1-2. It can still be one Aston Martin on the top step of the podium. Question is, who will be alongside him? Absolutely anything can happen. There is absolutely no way to predict who's going to be on this podium at the end of this race. And now there's 3 laps left to go, and Felix still tries to hold on, still tries to maintain the lead. Sully is all over the back of him. He's using DRS now, and he's gaining and gaining and gaining, but he will not make any move until for now. Turn 3, here we go. Turn 4 and then turn number 5. Yusuf gets another penalty for track limits. The positions stays the same as of now. Let's see what else can happen in here. Sully still trying to gain on Felix. He has a massive overspeed, but it's still not enough to get past. He just needs to hold on, and there's a crash at turn 6 and 7. PCWheel and Yusuf coming together, and Yusuf retires from the race actually. No idea what happened, but I guess that will be investigated later by the stewards if anyone decides to report that. I have no idea what happened between the 2 drivers, but we need to get back to this fight for the race win. No position changes for now. In the meanwhile, Jeremy got a 3-second time penalty as well, so even if he overtakes someone ahead of him, he will still finish P5 in his Australian Grand Prix. Went over the white line too often, and that's 3 seconds added to its time. So now it's a 4-way fight. 2 laps left. 4 different constructors fighting for the win in the season opener. Let's see. P1, P2 and P3 are all up for grabs. Question is, who will finish where? And Kartracer at the moment is trying to claim P2 and maybe even P1 in the following lap. Guga River and Nova is now fighting. Guga River up into P6 he goes. But now it's an all too familiar situation between the top two. It's always the same rivals. They were fighting for the championships every single season, and I don't think that's gonna stop anytime soon, because once again these two are fighting for the race win. Kartracer has a slight disadvantage on those 13 lap sole mediums compared to the 11 lap sole mediums. There's gonna be a minimal difference, but the main difference will be in their driving and in their moves, what they can do to try and claim P1 out of this Australian Grand Prix. As we have now started the final lap of this race, Kartracer has the DRS, but he will stay behind. No moves being made yet. There's contact between Alex and Sully. Alex loses an end plate on the left hand side, so at the moment I think he's gonna have to settle for P4, and there's not really anything else he can do. But now we need to stay with this fight. It's Kartracer against Felix once again. Felix has been picking up the pace all of a sudden so much. He's so far ahead of Kartracer, but will he last for enough? Because Kartracer is gaining and he goes down inside of turn 9, and Kartracer maintains the lead, but he still goes side by side, and Felix maintains the optimal line through the chicane and still stays ahead. Kartracer has one last chance to try and get past him with the DRS enabled, and he goes late in the brakes, and they make contact. Felix goes off the gravel, and Sully, through goes Sully, claiming P1 at the last possible moment. Kartracer is in P2, Felix has been demoted up into P4, but he sends it down the inside of Alex. He lost the rear, he stays in P4, and all of a sudden a surprise winner is gonna be Sully to win the Australian Grand Prix. Kartracer is in P2, Alex is in P3, Felix just out of the podium in P4, and Jeremy finishes in P5. Guga River with a solid P6, Sean in P7, always in P8, the two Alpine boys in P9 and 10, P3 out of the points. What a battle that was. Absolutely all of a sudden Felix gets pushed off by Kartracer, into the gravel he goes, and Sully says thank you very much, goes past the both of them and claims victory here in Australia. And what an unpredictable fight that was. And it's Aston Martin to get those first 25 points here in Melbourne. And what a battle. To be fair, that fight, that move from Kartracer, it might be investigated by the stewards. I wouldn't count out any stewards penalties, because if Felix decides to report that, Kartracer could be demoted. And meanwhile, we can see even some of the accolades that new feature on F1 25. Felix gets the fastest lap. That's an extra point, because we are actually keeping the extra point for the fastest lap on F1 25. Driver of the day goes to Sully. Most of it takes for Kartracer, and Sully cleanest driver as well. And there we go. These are the results. Sully from P6 to P1, Kartracer in P2, Alex in P3, and Felix in P4, Jeremy P5. Then we have Guga River, Sean, always Kuko, Marco finishes off in the points. PC Willy, Yusuf, Edwin, Bazooka, Tom, and who was the last one? Dylan. Out of the points. Most of them retired. And what a season opener, I have to say. What a fun race, honestly. Australia once again proving itself as a banger season opener. It looked to be another fight between Felix and Kartracer, but it actually was Sully. All of a sudden, he looked at the gap, he took the gap, looked at the occasion, and made the most of it. And that's a very much deserved race win for Sully. and Aston Martin can definitely be very happy about that one. So that was the Australian Grand Prix. Season 17 is now officially go, and I think this will only be one of the many exciting races we will have on F1 25 as the season goes on. It's still a very long season. Again, 18 races, still so much stuff that needs to be unfolded, but we are all too excited to see how that goes. So thank you for watching tonight's race, and Division 2 will be on Wednesday, obviously at the same time. So it's gonna be Division 2 who starts the next round 2, which is gonna be COTA, Austin, Texas, Circuit of the Americas. So firstly in Division 2 on Wednesday, then the same track on Saturday on Division 1. On a side note, we are continuing Realistic Racing League just tomorrow. We will start Season 9, a new season that's also going to be on F1 25. Calendar is already out, everything is already prepared. We will go racing tomorrow. There is still plenty of space if you want to secure yourself a spot for tomorrow's race, which will be at Silverstone. Again, Realistic Racing League, realistic performance car on F1 25, Silverstone tomorrow. So apart from that, thank you for watching tonight's race, and we will see you again next week in F1 Total.